$20 million. The words hung in the air. Silence. Complete silence at window number 3. Sasaki Mitchell stared at the old black man sitting across from her. She blinked once. Twice. Then her mouth curved into a smile. Not a friendly smile. A mocking smile. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "Did you say $200? No." Marcus Johnson's voice was steady. Calm. $20 million. Sasaki's smile widened. She leaned back in her chair. 20 million? She said it slowly. Deliberately, like she was talking to a child. Then she laughed. Not a small laugh. A loud, belly laugh that echoed through the bank lobby. The clerk at the next window looked over. His name tag read David Tanaka. He was in his mid-30s, clean cut, always eager to please. "What's going on, Sasa?" he called out. Sasaki was still laughing. She wiped her eyes. This gentleman. She could barely get the words out. "He says he wants to withdraw $20 million. David's eyes went wide. Then he started laughing too. "20 million? Are you serious?" The other clerks behind the counter turned to look. A woman at window 1, a young man at window 5. They were all staring now. All laughing. Marcus sat perfectly still. His hands rested on the counter. His face showed nothing. But inside, something was burning. Let's go back. Back to where this all started. 8 hours earlier. The morning sun filtered through the curtains of the 2-story house. It was a beautiful home, sitting on a third of an acre in Buckhead, one of Atlanta's most affluent neighborhoods. Marcus Johnson stood at his bedroom window. He took a deep breath. He was 72 years old. Gray hair. Deep lines around his eyes, but his posture was straight. Strong. Marcus had built his fortune from nothing. Started in the 1,970 seconds with a small textile business. Worked his way up, made smart investments, treated people right. Now he was worth over $300 million, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him. He opened his closet. Rows of expensive suits hung there. Italian leather shoes lined the bottom shelf. Marcus reached past all of them. He pulled out an old gray sweater, faded cotton pants, white sneakers that had seen better days. The sweater was at least 10 years old. Comfortable, soft, his favorite. "Honey," his wife Evelyn called from downstairs. "Why don't you wear something nicer?" She had that worried tone in her voice. Marcus shook his head. "No need. I'm just going to that record store on Peachtree. Maybe stop by the credit union after. At least take the Mercedes." Marcus smiled. "The Honda's fine." In the garage sat 3 cars, a Rolls-Royce worth $350,000, a Mercedes S-Class, over $150,000, and tucked in the corner, a beat-up red Honda Civic. Without hesitation, Marcus grabbed the Honda's keys. He'd bought that car for Evelyn years ago when she was learning to drive. It was small, easy to maneuver, perfect for navigating Atlanta's tight streets. These days, he used it whenever he went into the city. He checked his phone before starting the engine. An email notification, interest payment from Sunrise Community Credit Union. He opened the banking app. The number appeared on screen. Account balance, $224,700,000. 20 years ago, his best friend Samuel Carter had asked him to invest in a new credit union. Samuel wanted to serve the local community, give people better rates, better service. Marcus had put in $30 million, half friendship, half investment. The credit union paid low interest. But Marcus didn't mind. It was Samuel's dream. Samuel had passed away 10 years ago. His son had sold his shares 5 years back and moved to California. Now Marcus had no personal connection to Sunrise Credit Union anymore, but the interest rate was decent, no reason to move the money. He started the engine. The old Honda rattled to life. Today he'd pick up that new Miles Davis record. Maybe browse the jazz section for a while. A simple day. Marcus drove through the streets of Atlanta. The Honda's engine was loud, a bit rough, but it ran fine. At a red light, a young man in a BMW pulled up next to him. The guy looked over at the beat-up Honda, smirked, shook his head. Marcus didn't care. People judge by appearances. Always have, always will. The light turned green. Marcus continued on. He hummed along to the oldies station on the radio. Felt good, relaxed. He had no idea what was coming. No idea that in a few hours, his entire morning would explode. The record store's parking lot was under construction. Marcus circled the block. No spaces anywhere. Even on a Tuesday morning, downtown Atlanta was packed. He turned down a side street. There. A building. Sunrise Community Credit Union on the ground floor. A parking lot next to it. Perfect. He could stop in, ask about their new savings products, maybe grab a parking validation. Marcus turned into the lot entrance. A man stepped out, mid-50s. Gray suit, definitely management. He held up his hand. Hold on. The man walked up to the driver's side, looked at the old Honda, looked at Marcus. His expression changed, hardened. Where are you going? His tone wasn't friendly. It was suspicious. Cold. I'm trying to park, Marcus said calmly. I need to stop by the bank, then I'm heading to the store next door. The man looked the car up and down again. The dents, the scratches, the faded paint. This lot is for bank customers only. I understand. I'll be quick. Just need to. You plan on doing business at the bank? Yes, I'm thinking about opening a deposits or withdrawals. The question came out sharp. Demanding. Marcus paused. This felt wrong. Intrusive. Does it matter? I'm a customer. Parking validation is only for deposits or withdrawals, not for inquiries. The man emphasized the last word, made it sound dirty. I see. Well, I might make a deposit. How much? Marcus's jaw tightened. Excuse me? How much are you depositing? We need to know if it's worth validating parking for, he stopped. But the meaning was clear. For someone like you. Marcus took a breath, kept his voice level. I'd like to discuss some financial products. Maybe open a term deposit account. Really? The man's eyebrows went up. Mocking. You just want to talk? That's not bank business. That's wasting time. Two bank employees walked past, coffee cups in hand. They saw the scene, saw the old black man in the beat-up car, saw the manager blocking his way. They smiled, whispered to each other, kept walking. The manager crossed his arms. Look, old man, you're just trying to get free parking, aren't you? We see it all the time. People like you trying to said. People like me? The words came out cold, sharp. The manager didn't back down. This is a private parking lot. For bank customers. Real customers. Not people just looking around. I am a customer of this bank. Sure you are, the man smirked. And I'm the president. Marcus felt heat rising in his chest, but he controlled it. Pushed it down. Fine. I'll deposit some money. That should qualify. Right? Deposits need to be at least $1,000 for parking validation. That's fine. The manager looked at Marcus's worn sweater. The old car. You got $1,000 on you, old man? The disrespect was thick, obvious. Marcus gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles tight. Just tell me where to park. Over there, in the corner. The manager pointed to the far end of the lot. The worst spots, farthest from the entrance. Why not here? There's space right in front. That's for luxury vehicles. Mercedes, BMW, Lexus, not. He gestured at the Honda. Not this. There are compact cars parked up front. Those belong to long-term customers. You. He looked Marcus up and down again. You park in back. Marcus's left knee was aching. It had been bothering him for months. Walking long distances was painful. My knee's not great. Could I? Then maybe you should have thought about that before. Driving a car like this to a bank like ours. The manager's voice was flat, cold, final. Marcus stared at him. This man didn't know. Couldn't know. Marcus owned over $200 million in this bank. He was one of their largest depositors, a VIP client. But to this manager, he was just another old black man, poor, insignificant, not worth respect. I'm also a VIP customer at this bank. The manager paused. For just a second, surprise flickered across his face. Then he laughed, loud and harsh. You, a VIP? Old man, come on. Stop with the jokes. I'm serious. I own. You own this building? The manager laughed again. Sure, and I own the White House. He looked at the Honda one more time. At Marcus's clothes. Look, buddy, just park in the back. If you're really making a deposit, you'll get your validation. He pulled out a ticket from his pocket. Parking's $10 for 10 minutes. Marcus took the parking ticket. His hand was shaking, not from fear, from anger. Pure, burning anger. He drove to the back corner of the lot, parked the Honda, turned off the engine, sat there for a moment. The rage inside him was building, growing, like a fire that had been smothered for too long. He got out of the car, slowly. His knee hurt. But he walked toward the bank entrance. The manager was standing outside, smoking a cigarette, watching. Marcus pushed through the glass doors. Cold air from the AC hit his face. He took a number from the ticket machine, sat down in the waiting area. He would get his parking validation, then leave. That was the plan. That was what he thought. But something was changing inside him, something he'd kept buried for years. A voice in his head whispered, "They don't see you. They never have. They never will. Unless you make them see." Marcus looked around the bank. High ceilings, polished floors, 5 teller windows. Only 3 were open, not many customers. 2 people ahead of him, 1 person beside him. He'd be called soon. Marcus looked at his phone, opened the banking app again. $224,700,000. Over $200 million in this bank. 20 years of trust, 20 years of loyalty, and they treated him like trash because of his clothes, his car, his skin. A middle-aged woman sitting next to him shifted in her seat, moved 1 chair over, away from him. She didn't even try to hide it, Marcus noticed. Of course, he noticed. He'd noticed it his whole life. The looks, the assumptions, the judgment. A number flashed on the electronic board. The person in front of him stood up, walked to the counter. A young male clerk greeted him with a bright smile. "Welcome. Please, have a seat." The voice was warm, friendly, professional. 5 minutes passed. The number changed again. Marcus's turn. "Customer number 25. Please proceed to window number 3. Marcus stood up slowly. His knee protested, but he walked forward. All eyes in the bank turned to him. His old clothes stood out, especially here, especially in this polished, pristine space. At window 3 sat a woman, early 30s. Name tag, Sasaki Mitchell. She looked tired, annoyed, like she'd rather be anywhere else. When Marcus approached, she didn't look up. "What do you need?" No greeting. No smile. No, please have a seat. Completely different from the clerk at the next window. "I'd like a parking validation," Marcus said. Finally, Sasaki looked up. She saw him, saw the old sweater, the worn pants, the face lined with age, her eyebrows raised slightly. Just a flicker of judgment. Parking validation is only for customers completing transactions. Her tone had changed, colder, sharper. "I understand. I'd like to make a deposit." "How much?" "I'll withdraw $1,000 from my account and deposit it into a 1-year term savings account." Sasaki stared at him. Her expression said it all. "This old man has $1,000? Do you have your bank book?" The question was loaded, condescending. Marcus's jaw clenched. "I use online banking." Sasaki's lip curled, almost a sneer. "Then show me your account number on your phone." Marcus pulled out his smartphone, opened the banking app. But just as the screen loaded, the battery died. Screen went black. "Oh, battery's dead." Sasaki let out a loud, exaggerated sigh. She stared at Marcus. Hard. "Do you even have $1,000? The question hung there, insulting, humiliating. "Of course I do. Then where's your proof?" "No bank book. No phone. How am I supposed to believe you? I can use my ID. You can look up my account." Sasaki sighed again, louder this time. "You realize there are customers waiting behind you, right?" She glanced over Marcus's shoulder, pretended to look concerned. In reality, there was only one person waiting. Marcus's hands were shaking now, not from weakness, from rage. Pure, unfiltered rage that he'd been holding back his entire life. "Just look up my account." His voice was low, controlled, but there was steel in it. Sasaki rolled her eyes. "Fine. ID." Marcus pulled out his wallet, took out his driver's license, placed it on the counter. His hands were trembling. But his voice was steady, clear, final. I want to withdraw $20 million. Sasaki Mitchell couldn't stop laughing. She doubled over in her chair, clutched her stomach, tears streaming down her face. 20 million? She gasped between laughs. David Tanaka wheeled his chair over. He was grinning. Did I hear that right? 20 million? That's what he said. Sasaki could barely breathe. The other clerks gathered behind them, all staring, all smiling. A woman from window 1, a young man from window 5. Even the assistant manager poked his head out from the back office, everyone watching the old black man in the worn gray sweater. Everyone laughing. Marcus sat perfectly still. His face was stone, but his fists were clenched under the counter, nails digging into his palms. Sir, David said, still grinning, did you maybe mean 2,000? No, Marcus said quietly. 20 million. More laughter. Come on, old man, Sasaki said, wiping her eyes. 20,000 is still a stretch, but 20 million? Do you even know how much money that is? I know exactly how much it is. That could buy this whole building. Twice over. I know. Sasaki leaned forward. Her voice dripped with mockery. Then why are you here begging for a parking validation? If you had that kind of money, you'd just pay the parking fee. Hell, you'd own a real car. Not that piece of junk outside. David laughed harder. Wait, he came here for a parking ticket? Yep. Wants to deposit some money to get his parking validated. Oh my God. David shook his head. That's rich. No, Sasaki said, pointing at Marcus. He's not rich. That's the problem. The clerks behind them snickered. Marcus's voice cut through the laughter. Check. My account. His tone was ice. Sasaki's smile faded slightly. But not the mockery. Okay, fine. I'll check. But when there's nothing there, and trust me, there won't be, you're leaving. Immediately. No more games. Agreed. You understand you're wasting everyone's time? Just check the account. Sasaki sighed dramatically. She took his driver's license, held it up to the light, examined it like it might be fake. Marcus Johnson. She read the name slowly. Age 72. Buckhead address. She raised an eyebrow. Buckhead? Really? You live in Buckhead? Buckhead was one of Atlanta's wealthiest neighborhoods. Must be a rental, David said. Or maybe he's a janitor for someone rich. More laughter. Marcus said nothing. Just stared at Sasaki. His eyes were cold, hard, unforgiving. Something in that look made her uncomfortable, just for a second. But she pushed it aside. She turned to her computer, started typing. Let's see what we've got here, she muttered. Marcus Johnson, date of birth. She entered the information, clicked, search, waited. David leaned over her shoulder. How much you think he's got? I'm guessing. $100. No way, Sasaki said. Maybe 1,000, if we're lucky. I'll bet $50 he's got less than 500. You're on, they laughed. Behind them, the other clerks joined in. I say $200, called the woman from window 1. 100, said the young man from window 5. Maybe he doesn't even have an account, someone else said. They were all having fun now, making a game out of it. Marcus sat in silence, watching them, listening. The rage inside him was no longer a fire. It was a volcano, ready to erupt. But he kept it controlled, buried, waiting. Just a little longer. Sasaki's fingers moved across the keyboard. Okay, entering your account number now. This should just take a... She stopped. Her fingers froze on the mouse. Her smile disappeared. What the... She whispered. David noticed. What's wrong? Sasaki didn't answer. She just stared at the screen. Her mouth opened slightly. Her eyes went wide. Sasa? What is it? She blinked. Once, twice. Then she leaned closer to the screen, like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. No way, she breathed. What? David moved closer. How much does he have? Sasaki's hand was shaking. She pointed at the screen, couldn't speak. David looked, and his face went white. Completely white. Holy. The other clerk sensed something was wrong. The laughter died. What's going on? Asked the woman from window 1. David couldn't answer, he just stared. David? She called again. How much is in there? David's voice came out as a croak. 20 million. What? $20 million? You're joking. I'm not. His voice was shaking now. It's actually. He leaned closer, counting the digits. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million. His lips moved, silent counting. Then his legs gave out. He grabbed the desk to steady himself. 224 million, he whispered. What? $224.7 million. The entire bank went silent. Dead silent. You could hear the air conditioning, the hum of computers, someone's phone buzzing in the distance. But no one spoke. No one moved. Sasaki stared at the screen. Her face had gone pale, bloodless. The number glowed on the monitor. Account balance, $224,700,000. Below it, transaction history, interest payments, all legitimate, all real. This can't be right, Sasaki whispered. Check it again, David said. She clicked refresh. The number didn't change. $224,700,000. Oh my God. Sasaki breathed. Her hands were shaking. Actually shaking. Marcus sat quietly, watching her. Waiting. The assistant manager stepped forward, looked at the screen. His face went white too. Is that Marcus Johnson? He looked at Marcus. Really looked at him. Recognition flickered in his eyes. Horror followed. Oh no! Oh no 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 no! What? Sasaki's voice was desperate, panicked. That's the Marcus Johnson. What do you mean the Marcus Johnson? He's one of our founding investors. He put in 30 million 20 years ago. Corporate sent a memo about him. Told us to treat him with extreme care. VIP client, top tier. Sasaki's face went from white to gray. David looked like he might throw up. I didn't know, Sasaki whispered. I didn't. You didn't ask, Marcus said. His voice was quiet, but it cut through the silence like a knife. Everyone looked at him. He stood up slowly. His knee protested, but he stood straight, tall. You judged me by my clothes, my car, my skin. Sasaki opened her mouth. No words came out. You laughed at me, made fun of me, treated me like trash. Sir, I have $224 million in this bank. His voice was steady, calm. But underneath, there was steel. And now I wanted out. Out? David stammered. You mean, transfer it? No. Marcus looked him dead in the eye. Cash. Silence. You can't be serious, the assistant manager said. I'm completely serious. Sir, please, if you just give us a moment, I gave you plenty of moments. You used them to mock me. Sasaki suddenly jumped up from her chair, ran around the counter. She dropped to her knees in front of Marcus. Actually dropped to her knees. Mr. Johnson, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Please forgive me. Her voice was desperate, tears running down her face. David stumbled out from behind the counter too. He didn't kneel, but he bowed his head low. Sir, I apologize. We made a terrible mistake. Please, give us another chance. Marcus looked down at them. Two people who, 5 minutes ago, were laughing at him, mocking him, treating him like he was nothing. Now they were begging. Please, Sasaki sobbed. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. So wrong. Marcus's voice was cold. You weren't wrong about your assumptions. You were wrong about me. I know. I'll never do it again. I swear. It's not about what you'll do. It's about what you did. The assistant manager stepped forward. His face was pale, sweating. Mr. Johnson, please, let's discuss this in the manager's office. I'm sure we can. There's nothing to discuss. I want my money. All of it. I'm transferring it out. To another bank? That's none of your business. The assistant manager's hands were shaking. Sir, if you withdraw $200 million, this branch could face serious consequences. Then you should have thought about that before you hired people who judge customers by the color of their skin. The words hung in the air. No one could deny it. It was right there. Out in the open. Racism, pure and simple. Customers in the waiting area were standing now, watching, whispering. What's happening? Did he say 200 million? The old black man? Yes. And they treated him like garbage. Oh my God. The whispers spread, growing louder. An elderly white woman approached the counter. Excuse me, I'd like to withdraw my savings. A clerk rushed over. Ma'am, please, everything is fine. Your money is safe. If he's taking out 200 million, this bank might not be safe at all. Ma'am, I want my money. Now, another customer stepped forward. Me too. I want to close my account. Please, everyone calm down. But it was too late. Panic was setting in. The assistant manager turned back to Marcus, desperation in his eyes. Mr. Johnson, please, I'm begging you, don't do this. Why not? You'll ruin us. Marcus's voice was ice. You ruined yourself. The office door in the back opened. A man stepped out, mid-50s, expensive suit, confident stride. The branch manager. His name tag read, Ronald Peterson. Branch manager. He walked straight to Marcus. Hand extended. Mr. Johnson, I'm Ronald Peterson. I apologize profusely for this misunderstanding. Marcus didn't shake his hand. Ronald's hand hung in the air. Awkward, ignored. He pulled it back, cleared his throat. I understand there's been a situation, but I assure you, we can resolve this. Please, come to my office. No. Sir, I'm withdrawing my money, all of it. Ronald's face tightened. Sir, withdrawing that amount in cash would take at least a week. We don't keep that much physical currency on hand, then transfer it. To where? I'll let you know. Mr. Johnson, please. Let's talk this through. Whatever happened, I'm sure we can. Can you change the past? Ronald paused. No, but we can change the future. My future won't be with this bank. Behind the counter, Sasaki was sobbing. David looked like he was going to faint. The other customers were getting louder. I want my money out too. This is ridiculous. Is the bank going under? Ronald raised his hands. Everyone, please. Your deposits are perfectly safe. This is just a misunderstanding with one client. A client with $200 million, someone shouted. That's not confirmed, Ronald lied. I saw the screen, David said, then immediately regretted it. Ronald shot him a deadly look. The lobby was chaos now. Customers yelling, clerks panicking. And in the middle of it all, Marcus stood quiet, calm, watching his tormentors squirm. Ronald leaned in close, lowered his voice. Mr. Johnson, what do you want? Really? Name it. Anything. I want respect. You have it. You'll always have it. From now on doesn't erase an hour ago. I understand. But please, think about the consequences. This branch employs 15 people, good people. If you pull your money, we'll likely shut down. They'll lose their jobs. Their families will suffer. Marcus looked at Sasaki, still crying on the floor, looked at David, white as a sheet, looked at the other clerks, all terrified. Should have thought about that earlier, he said quietly. Ronald's desperation grew. What about the manager outside, the parking attendant? Marcus's eyes narrowed. What about him? He's the building manager, not our employee. But I heard what happened. I'll fire him immediately. He won't work here again, won't change what he did. No. But it's accountability. It's something. Marcus was silent. Ronald pressed on. Please, give us one more chance. One. The old man looked around the bank, at the frightened faces, the chaos, the panic. Part of him felt satisfaction. They were finally seeing him, finally taking him seriously. But another part felt heavy, tired. Was this really what he wanted? To destroy lives, ruin careers? He thought of the clerks, the ones who hadn't said anything, who were just watching. Innocent people who'd lose their jobs. I'll think about it, Marcus said finally. Ronald exhaled. Relief flooded his face. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, let's go to my office. We can discuss. I'm leaving. But I'll think about it at home. I'll call you tomorrow with my decision. Mr. Johnson, tomorrow. Marcus turned and walked toward the exit. Every eye in the bank followed him. Sasaki called out, her voice broken. Mr. Johnson, please, I'm so sorry. He didn't turn around, didn't acknowledge her, just kept walking, pushed through the glass doors, into the sunlight. Behind him, chaos continued. Customers demanding withdrawals, clerks scrambling, Ronald trying desperately to restore order. Marcus walked slowly to his car, his knee aching. The building manager was gone. Probably fired already. He got into the Honda, sat there for a moment. His hands were still shaking, not from anger anymore, from adrenaline, from the sheer weight of what had just happened. He'd been disrespected his entire life, judged, dismissed, treated as less than. And today, finally, he'd had enough. But now what? Destroy the bank? Ruin lives? Or forgive? Move on? He didn't know. Marcus started the engine, pulled out of the parking lot. He still had the parking ticket in his pocket, unpaid. He smiled grimly. He'd come for a parking validation. And instead, he'd almost shut down an entire bank. That evening, Marcus sat in his study, lights off, just the glow of the city through the window. Evelyn came in. "Honey, are you okay?" "I'm fine." "You don't look fine." He told her everything. The parking lot, the bank, the laughter, the fear. All of it. When he finished, Evelyn was silent for a long time. "What are you going to do?" she asked finally. "I don't know. You could ruin them. I know. But will it make you feel better?" Marcus thought about that. Would it? "I don't know," he said again. His phone buzzed. A text message. From Ronald Peterson, "Mr. Johnson. Whatever you decide, I respect it. But please know, we failed you today. And I'm deeply, truly sorry. We don't deserve your business. But we'll try to earn it back, if you give us the chance." Marcus stared at the message, then deleted it. He wasn't ready to forgive. Not yet, maybe not ever. He looked out the window, at the city lights. Somewhere out there, Sasaki Mitchell was probably crying. David Tanaka was probably panicking. Ronald Peterson was probably desperately trying to save his branch. And Marcus Johnson? He was just tired. Tired of fighting, tired of proving himself, tired of being judged by the color of his skin. But tomorrow he'd make his decision. And whatever he chose, the bank would never forget it. Neither would he. 3 days later, Marcus still hadn't called the bank. His phone buzzed constantly. Messages from Ronald Peterson. Voicemails. Emails. All begging, all apologizing. He ignored them all. Evelyn watched him carefully. "You're still angry." "I'm tired," Marcus said. "There's a difference." "What are you going to do?" "I don't know yet," but he did know. Deep down, he was going to pull his money, all of it. Not out of revenge, out of principle. You don't treat people like that. You don't get to laugh at someone and then beg for forgiveness when you realize they have money. That's not how respect works. That afternoon, Marcus drove to the record store. He finally got his Miles Davis album. Spent an hour browsing. Let the music calm him. When he left, his stomach growled. Lunchtime. There was a small diner across the street. Betty's Kitchen, a local spot. Nothing fancy, perfect. Marcus walked in. Bell above the door jingled. The smell of bacon and coffee filled the air. "Sit anywhere, honey," a voice called from the kitchen. Marcus chose a booth by the window, picked up the plastic menu. Footsteps approached. "What can I get you today?" That voice. He knew that voice. Marcus looked up and froze. Standing there in a worn apron, pen and notepad in hand, was Sasaki Mitchell. She froze too. The notepad slipped from her fingers, clattered to the floor. "Mr. Johnson," she whispered. For a long moment, neither spoke. Sasaki's face went white, then red, then white again. "I." She couldn't form words. Marcus just looked at her. Calm, silent. She bent down, picked up the notepad with shaking hands. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice barely audible. "I'm so sorry. For everything." Marcus said nothing. "I know you probably hate me. You have every right to. What I did was..." Her voice cracked. "I was horrible, cruel. And I'm so sorry." She was crying now, tears running down her face. The cook poked his head out from the kitchen. "Sasa? You okay?" "I'm fine, Bobby. Just... give me a minute." She wiped her eyes, looked at Marcus. "I lost my job. So did David. And 3 other people. The bank let us go the next day. Said we were liabilities. Marcus remained silent. I deserved it, she continued. I know I did. But David, he has kids, a mortgage, and I influenced him. It was my fault. She took a shaky breath. I've been applying everywhere. But no bank will hire me. Not after what happened. Word spreads fast in this industry. So you're working here? Yes. She nodded. Bobby gave me a chance. No questions asked. Just hired me. I'm grateful. Truly. Marcus picked up the menu again. I'll have the turkey club, side of fries, sweet tea. Sasaki blinked. That's it? That's my order. You're not going to say anything? About what happened? Marcus looked at her. Really looked at her. 3 days ago, she was mocking him, laughing, treating him like dirt. Now she was broken, working for minimum wage, begging for forgiveness. Part of him felt satisfaction. She got what she deserved. But another part. How much do you make here? He asked. Sasaki looked confused. $8.50 an hour, plus tips. And before? At the bank? $42,000 a year. You have bills? Yes. Rent. Student loans. Car payment. She laughed bitterly. I'm already 2 weeks behind on rent. Marcus nodded slowly. Your order will be up soon. Yes, sir. She turned to go. Sasaki. She stopped, turned back. What you did was wrong. I know. You judged me without knowing me. You assumed the worst because of how I looked. I know. And I hate myself for it. Do you? Every day. Every single day I think about it. About you. About what I did. Marcus studied her face. She was sincere. He could see that. Broken, regretful, ashamed. We all make mistakes, he said quietly. The question is whether we learn from them. I have. I swear I have. Marcus nodded. Good. He turned back to the window, watched the street outside. Sasaki stood there for a moment longer, then walked back to the kitchen. Marcus ate his sandwich slowly, thoughtfully. Across the room, Sasaki served other customers. Smiled, laughed, worked hard. She was different here, humbler, kinder. Humiliation had changed her. Or, maybe, it had revealed who she really was underneath the judgment and arrogance. When he finished, Marcus walked to the register. Sasaki met him there. That'll be $12.50. Marcus pulled out his wallet. Took out a $100 bill. Keep the change. Sasaki's eyes went wide. Sir, I can't. You can. And you will. Mr. Johnson, everyone deserves a second chance, Sasaki. Even you. She started crying again. Thank you. Thank you so much. Marcus walked out. The bell jingled behind him. He stood on the sidewalk. Breathed in the cool air. Something had shifted inside him. The anger was still there. But it was different now. Less consuming. Less raw. Seeing Sasaki like that, broken, working minimum wage, genuinely remorseful, had changed something. She'd paid a price. A heavy one. Maybe that was enough. That evening, Marcus sat in his study. He opened his laptop, pulled up the bank's website. Sunrise Community Credit Union. He read about their history, their mission, their community programs. They did good work, helped local families, gave loans to small businesses. If the branch closed, it wouldn't just hurt the employees. It would hurt the community. Marcus thought about that. Then he thought about Sasaki, about David, about the other clerks who'd lost their jobs. Were they all bad people? Or just people who made bad choices? He didn't know. But he knew one thing. Destroying them wouldn't fix anything. It wouldn't change the past. Wouldn't heal the wound. Wouldn't make him feel better. It would just create more pain. Marcus picked up his phone. Scrolled to Ronald Peterson's number. Hesitated. Then pressed call. Ronald answered on the first ring. Mr. Johnson? His voice was desperate. Hopeful. I've made my decision, Marcus said. Yes, sir. I'm not withdrawing my money. Silence. Then, thank you. Oh, God. Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you won't regret. But I have conditions. Anything. Name it. The building that houses your branch. It's for sale, correct? Yes. The owner wants to unload it quickly. I'm buying it. Another silence. You're... What? I'm buying the building. And when I do, Things are going to change. What kind of changes? Marcus smiled. The good kind. The next morning, Marcus met with a real estate agent. The building was priced at $4.2 million, below market value, a desperate sale. I'll pay cash, Marcus said. Close, in 3 days. The agent's eyes went wide. 3 days? That's incredibly fast. Can you do it? For a cash buyer? Absolutely. They shook hands. 3 days later, Marcus owned the building. He stood in the empty lobby after hours, looked around. This place had humiliated him, judged him, broken something inside him. But now it was his. And he was going to turn it into something better, something that treated people right, regardless of their clothes, their car, their skin color. Marcus pulled out his phone, dialed a number. Betty's Kitchen, this is Bobby. Hi, Bobby. Is Sasaki Mitchell working tonight? Yeah, she's here. Who's calling? Tell her Marcus Johnson wants to speak with her. A pause. The Marcus Johnson? Yes. Hold on. Shuffling. Muffled voices. Then, Mr. Johnson? Sasaki's voice was nervous. I have a job opportunity, Marcus said. If you're interested. A job? Sasaki's voice trembled. What kind of job? Meet me tomorrow, 10 a.m., at the credit union building. But I don't understand. Why would you? Do you want the opportunity or not? Yes. Yes, of course. I'll be there. Marcus hung up. Then he scrolled through his contacts, found another number, a number Sasaki had given him that day at the diner, written on a napkin. David Tanaka. He dialed. Hello? David's voice sounded tired. Defeated. David Tanaka? Yes. Who's this? Marcus Johnson. Dead silence. Then, Mr. Johnson, I don't know what to say. I know, Sasaki told me. She did? I have a proposition for you, too. Same time. Same place. Tomorrow at 10. I don't understand. You will. Just be there. Marcus ended the call. He sat back in his chair, looked out the window. Was he making a mistake? Maybe. But everyone deserved a second chance, even those who'd wronged him, especially those who'd learned from it. The next morning, Marcus arrived at the building at 9:30, walked through the empty lobby. It was quiet, peaceful. The credit union was closed now, relocated to another branch across town. This space was his, a blank canvas. At exactly 10 a.m., Sasaki arrived. She wore a simple dress, hair pulled back. Nervous. Mr. Johnson, Sasaki, thank you for coming. Of course. I wasn't sure this was real. It's real. 5 minutes later, David arrived. He looked worse than Sasaki. Unshaven. Dark circles under his eyes. Mr. Johnson, he said quietly. David. The three of them stood in the empty lobby. Awkward. Tense. I'm opening a new credit union, Marcus said. Right here, in this building. Both of them stared. It'll be called Skyline Community Credit Union. Our mission is simple. Treat everyone with respect, no matter who they are, what they look like, what they drive. Sasaki's eyes filled with tears. I'm hiring staff. People who understand that mission. People who've learned what it means to judge someone unfairly. He looked at both of them. I'm offering you positions. If you want them. Sasaki covered her mouth, started crying. David just stood there, frozen. You're serious? David finally asked. Completely. But why? After what we did to you? Because I believe people can change. I've seen it. He looked at Sasaki. She was sobbing now, full, body-shaking sobs. I don't deserve this, she whispered. I don't deserve your kindness. Maybe not. But I'm offering it anyway. Why? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Because someone gave me a chance once, when I was young, poor, when everyone else counted me out. One man believed in me, invested in me, gave me the opportunity to build something. He paused. That man was Samuel Carter. He founded Sunrise Credit Union, and he taught me something important. Grace matters more than revenge. I'll never let you down. I promise. Neither will I, David added. I swear it. Good, because you'll be working directly with customers. alongside people who look different, talk different, drive different cars. I understand. Do you? Really? Yes, sir. I do now. Marcus nodded. You start in 2 weeks. Training begins immediately. Fair wages, benefits. But one mistake, one incident of discrimination, and you're done. Permanently. Understood. There's one more thing. Yes, sir? The parking lot attendant. The building manager who stopped me. Do you know where he is? David shook his head. He was fired the same day. I heard he's working security somewhere, maybe downtown. Find him. Sir, find him. Get me his contact information. May I ask why? Marcus smiled slightly. Everyone deserves a second chance, even him. 1 week later, Marcus stood in front of the building. Workers were installing a new sign. Skyline Community Credit Union, where everyone matters below it. New parking signs. All vehicles welcome. No discrimination. No judgment. An automated system had been installed. No attendant needed. Just scan your ticket. Park wherever there's space. Simple, fair, equal. Marcus watched the workers, felt satisfaction. This was right. This was good. His phone buzzed. A text from Sasaki. Mr. Johnson, I found him. The parking attendant. His name is James Crawford. He's working security at a construction site. Should I send you his number? Marcus replied. Yes, and set up a meeting. Tell him I want to talk. Will do. Marcus pocketed his phone. James Crawford had been cruel, dismissive, racist, but he'd also lost his job, lost his income. Just like Sasaki, just like David, they'd all paid a price. And now Marcus would offer him something unexpected. Not because James deserved it, but because grace doesn't require deserving. It just requires giving. 2 days later, Marcus met James Crawford at a coffee shop. James was bigger than Marcus remembered. Mid-50s, graying hair, looked exhausted. He sat down across from Marcus, wouldn't meet his eyes. Mr. Johnson, James, silence. I know why you called me here, James said quietly. You want an apology. No. James looked up, surprised. I don't need your apology. I need to know if you've learned anything. James was quiet for a long time. I learned I'm an asshole, he said finally. I judged you, treated you like garbage, because of your car, your clothes, your... He trailed off. My skin color. Yes. Marcus nodded. Go on. I lost everything. My job, my reputation. My wife left me. Said she couldn't be married to a bigot. His voice cracked. She was right. And now? Now I'm trying to survive, taking whatever work I can get, living paycheck to paycheck. Sounds hard. It is. But I earned it. Marcus studied him. James looked broken, genuinely remorseful. I'm opening a new credit union. I need a security manager. James's head snapped up. What? Someone to oversee parking, building security, guest services. You're offering me a job? I'm offering you a chance. Why? Because I believe people can change. Can you? James's eyes filled with tears. Yes. God. Yes. I swear it. Then prove it. Marcus stood up, extended his hand. James took it, shook it firmly. Thank you, James whispered. Thank you so much. Don't thank me. Just do better. I will. I promise. Marcus walked out of the coffee shop. The sun was shining. The air was cool. He felt lighter, freer. Forgiveness, he realized, wasn't for them. It was for him. 3 months later, Skyline Community Credit Union opened its doors. The lobby was bright, clean, welcoming. At the entrance stood James Crawford, dressed in a crisp security uniform, smiling genuinely. Welcome to Skyline, he greeted an elderly black woman in worn clothes. She looked surprised, hesitant. Don't worry, ma'am, James said warmly. Everyone's welcome here. Let me hold the door for you, she smiled. Thank you, young man. Inside, Sasaki Mitchell sat at window 3. A young Hispanic man approached, tattoos visible on his arms, ripped jeans, tank top. Good morning, Sasaki said brightly. Please, have a seat. How can I help you today? No judgment in her voice, no condescension, just genuine warmth. I need to open a savings account, the man said nervously. Absolutely. We'd be honored to help you. What are your financial goals? At the next window, David Tanaka helped an elderly white woman in a fur coat. Right beside her, another clerk helped a homeless veteran. Both received the same respect, the same attention, the same care. That afternoon, Marcus pulled into the parking lot. Today, he drove the Honda, the old beat-up red Civic. He pulled into a space right up front. No one stopped him. No one questioned him. The automated gate simply lifted. Welcome. Thank you for banking with Skyline. Marcus walked into the lobby. James saw him immediately, straightened up. Mr. Johnson. Good afternoon, sir. James. How's it going? Wonderful. Really wonderful. Thank you again. For just keep doing good work. I will, every day. Marcus approached Sasaki's window. She looked up, and her face lit up. Mr. Johnson, it's so good to see you. Sasaki. How are things? Busy. But good. Really good. She smiled. We've helped over 200 families this month. People who've been turned away from other banks. That's what we're here for. I know, and I'm grateful. Every single day. An elderly white man in expensive clothes walked in. Right behind him, a young black woman in a fast food uniform. Both took numbers. Both sat in the same waiting area. No separation, no hierarchy, just people. Marcus watched it all, felt pride swell in his chest. This was what he'd wanted. A place where people weren't judged, where respect was given freely, where the color of your skin or the car you drove didn't determine your worth. That evening, Marcus sat with Evelyn on their porch. You did something beautiful, she said. We'll see. It's still early. No. You changed lives, including your own. Marcus thought about that. She was right. He'd started this journey angry, bitter, wanting revenge. But somewhere along the way, it had transformed into something better, something healing. You know what I realized? He said quietly. What? Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's strength. It takes more courage to forgive than to destroy. Evelyn took his hand. Samuel would be proud of you. Marcus smiled. I hope so. The next morning, Marcus drove past the old Sunrise Credit Union building. It was empty now. A for lease sign in the window. He didn't feel anger anymore. Just peace. He continued driving. The old Honda rattling along. At a stoplight, a young man in a Tesla looked over, smirked at the beat-up car. Marcus smiled back. Let him judge. Let him assume. Appearances didn't define worth. Actions did. Character did. And Marcus Johnson had built something that would outlast any judgment. A legacy of grace. The light turned green. Marcus drove on. The sun was shining. The sky was clear. And for the first time in a long time, his heart felt light.